Facebook. I just wanted to come on and tell you guys a little bit about my foster care journey. I've been getting a lot of questions about it, so wanted to make a video to address some responses I've gotten and just some questions. So for those of you who don't know, I am becoming a foster parent, so yay! A lot of people ask me, why do you want to do that, or kind of when did that start? And to be honest with you, becoming a foster parent is something very new for me as far as something that I've wanted to do. I will say I've always wanted to adopt, and that is very different from foster care. And so I make that distinction because I feel that those two things get lumped into the same conversation more often than not. And a lot of times there is an assumption that because someone is fostering that they're also adopting, which is an option, but that's a whole nother issue. So my heart to adopt has always been there. I just remember as a little girl wanting to have a rainbow family for some reason, and I don't know where that idea came from. I just remember just having this image in my mind of kids from, different races and ethnicities and countries and places, and that they were all mine. So that has always been in my brain, and I've always just thought, yeah, when I get married, I will start adopting. Because obviously, also in my mind, it was a 2-parent home. Okay, so fast forward to now. I started to develop a heart for foster care because of the people that God has strategically placed in my life. I will admit, because a lot of times I feel like when people make these videos about foster care, at least all the videos that I've been watching on YouTube, because I've been watching a lot of them, there's kind of this air of, everyone has the wrong thoughts about it, and everyone says the wrong thing and this sort of thing. But the thing is, you don't know until you know, right? And so, honestly, my view towards foster care was not great. I formed my view based on what I saw in movies and television and just some stories that I had actually heard, which unfortunately is a lot of the way that we now form our convictions is based on the media. So I admit to that. I admit that I had this thought that foster parents are the people who don't want to keep the kids, and adoption is when people want to go all the way, really take this child into their home. I also had this idea that foster parents were abusive because that was a lot of what I saw portrayed in different stories. And unfortunately, even now as I listen to stories, I do hear of a lot of abuse. So anyways, that was my thought. And I just thought, I don't want to be associated with that, like in any way, shape, or form. But the Lord, as I said, has been working on my heart. And maybe the first time he worked on my heart was when I first moved to Nashville. I was like, yeah, I'm starting a new season of my life, blah, blah, blah. And I called an adoption agency. And I didn't tell a lot of people this because when I called them, I was like, okay, like, what are the first steps? And they were like, blah, 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 $20,000. And I was like, okay, bye. Yeah, I couldn't do that. I could not hang with that. So it's like, I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this. And so I kind of put that aside for a while. The Lord has put some really beautiful friends in my life who are doing foster care. And so when I saw them doing foster care, I thought, well, they're not like creepy as like my stereotype is, and they're not taking advantage of kids. And these are good people, and their children are wonderful, which I never had any thought per se about foster kids, only about foster parents. So anyways, long story short, which I did make that kind of long, God just placed different people in my life who told me that they used to be in foster care or they're a foster parent. And I started to really be aware of the need the need. And I didn't know that before. I was very unaware of that. And so knowing the need, and then also just desiring to live a purposeful life, as I know we all do, and wanting to be a good steward of the resources that God has given me. And so I started a few years back trying to find a house, because I said, you know what, I want to have a home, and I want to have enough rooms in it where I can take care of kids. And as you can kind of see in the background, my beautiful home, it's mine. Got it in October 2018. So I have a home now, and that was really kind of the last piece of the puzzle. I actually started, and then I'm going to stop this video soon because it's getting long, and maybe I'll make another one and answer the questions that y'all send. But I had to take a PATH class, and the first time I tried to take it, I actually backed out because I didn't have a house yet, and I called the people or whatever, and I was like, hey, I know I want to do this. I actually don't have like the living situation right now. What should I do? And they were like, well, why don't you wait till you get that figured out? And I was kind of discouraged because I was like, it's been taking me so long to get this figured out. I don't know when I'll be able to do it. And then the Lord just gave me the gift of faith that I needed, and I just still enrolled in the classes, and I just believed that by the time those classes were over that I would have a home, and I do. So yes. Yeah, so God, he's given me a home, and I want to be a good steward of that. There were so many people in my life growing up who were just good mentors to me and opened their homes to me, and so I want to do that with my home. And I've already had some kids here, not foster kids, but just kids that I love, have come, and so they've kind of broken in the house, so I know my house is fun. And yeah, so I'm really excited. I'm going to end this video now, but would like to let you know that I don't have any kids yet, and I'm still waiting on my final approval. So waiting on that. It could be towards the end of summer that happens. I did have a home study, and I passed it, I think, with flying colors. So yeah, now there's a file that's all about me, all about my family history, me personally, what my house is like, what kind of family I would kind of create. And that's, I guess, being passed from desk to desk to see if this person, to see if I would make a good home. So I'm just waiting on them to say, okay, looks good. And yeah, so that's kind of where I am, and I can't wait to keep you guys posted on the journey. Please post below any specific questions you have, and I'll make another video. Bye.